chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby, live from the old car. Hope you're all doing all right. I see some of you in the chat already, so straight away, let's go and say hello to some of you lovely people and see who we've got. My God, there's loads, isn't there? There's a right old chat. Julie Keys, hello to you. Cosmic Wartoad, Blood Nose, hello to you. Alan Edge, hello to you. Tanner Family Memories, Alan Pape, good to see you. Hope you're well. Who else have we got here? John, hello to you. Jane Griffiths as well. Hope you're good. I like these pre-scheduled chats because gives you some advance warning of me turning up, which is all good. Healing Vibrations, hello to you. Hope you're good. Now, lots of hellos from you there. Keith James. Looks like it was on 6 p.m. A bit misleading. It was supposed to be 18 minutes, that thumbnail was supposed to be, Keith, although granted it did look like 1800, but I'm here now. Hello, Alan, Julie Baldwin, good to see you. Let's see who else we got. Loads and loads and loads of hellos. Patricia Shaw, hi everyone. Hello, Patricia, good to see you. Hi, Mum, good to see you as well. Diddy and Ringo. M. Perry, good to see you. Angie Etheridge, and Neil Tanner. Lorna Mackenzie, always good to see you as well. Fern Wright, we're getting all the regulars here. Hello, John Kent, good to see you. Bridget as well. Philip. Kim Alliston. Lorna and Anna Perkins is here. That's everybody in the house. Well, welcome to the car. Tonight, I'm time limited to about 30 to 40 minutes with you all. I've got a rather early start at about 3 o'clock. I've got to take some people to Gatwick and then I'm off straight down to Southampton afterwards. So I need to go back to bed fairly promptly once this is done. Honesty and truth, evening to you. Trouble is with this thing, I start gassing and then more people come up and it doesn't tell me everything. Spylist.org, hello to you. What else have we got? Twinkle Toes, hello to you. Dave, hello to you. And Terry, hello to you. Loads of the regulars. I love this community, it's brilliant. New laptop coming tomorrow. The shop I took mine to started to try to get more money out of me. Julie, Jesus, you can't. Problem is with computer technicians, Julie. I mean, I did the job for 13 years before I was a cab driver. You get those that know and those that don't, but those that don't think they do, and they're very good at convincing other people that they do as well. And it's fairly hard to find a good one, really, but I suppose get a new one and see if you can do something with the old one. If you can get all your information off the old one, sometimes it's worth just wiping it clean and you got a spare, or even flog it, whatever you choose. That's obviously up to you. Diddy and Ringo, I like your thing there, that's cool. Lynn, hello to you, good to see you. Who's that? James, hello to you. Neil, Stansted Airport, £7 just to pick up woman. Crazy, isn't it? And that's outside. That's right outside the terminal in the express drop-off zone. Now, the thing is, if you were to park in the car park, and I think they've done this deliberately, by the way, and walk into the terminal to find your passenger and walk back out again, the length or distance between where your car is parked and the terminal is so great, jump up into the next charging bracket automatically and there's nothing you can do about it. It's a big racket up there, and I'm afraid they're all at it. Gatwick, Heathrow, Luton, Stansted, they're all the same, all in the name of COVID recovery, which of course is complete bollocks. It's all down to basic corporate greed. And I love all these fines they try and enforce as well. I have a problem at the moment with Gatwick Airport, and I hope one of their individuals are watching, but I have an auto pay account set up. And the idea is I drive in, drop off, drive out, and then I'm charged automatically £5 off my debit card. It hasn't worked since the beginning of January, and I've had a look at their system, and everything I've got in place is in place, and it should be working. Yet when you look and check everything, I'm according to them, I've never been there, and I have GPS tracked proof that I have lots and lots and lots and lots of times, and they won't have the fact that their system's shit. It's all my fault, and I'm forever having arguments with them. I got a thing through saying you owe us this, 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 and this, and then a week previously, I got a letter through telling me I owe them nothing. So I don't think they can get their house in order. Really, it's an awful, awful racket, the whole thing, and it needs chucking out the window. Andy the Gabby Cabby got a tell 20 SE. I'm assuming that means 20 seconds. Hello, Jerry Georgopoulos. Good to see you. Lynn, evening to you. Bob Pittman's here. Good to see you as well. Factual Breakdown as well. Good to see you. We've got lots and lots of folks in. Yeah, the thumbnail I put on was, it was supposed to represent 18 minutes of time. I noticed a couple of people thought I misrepresented it a little bit and thought I was going to be on at 6 o'clock, as in 1800. And I do apologise if that led you up the garden path. But what I was referring to with 18 minutes was Sir David Amos, the politician that was, knifed to death by that insane nutter last year in his constituency surgery. And I read that it took the jury literally 18 minutes to find him guilty of, what he was charged of, which is obviously, murder. And he's going to be sentenced next week, which again is good. But what concerns me more than anything, and it's not just Britain, it's everywhere else, it's the power of that sentencing. Will it act as a deterrent to stop other people doing such a thing again? Will he go to prison for the rest of his life? Will he get slung out? What's going on? Is the deterrent going to be enough? And I read another thing before I came out, that Joe Biden, good old Sleepy Joe, is going to start stomping down on what they refer to as ghost guns in America. And I assume that means guns with no serial numbers or no tracking or registered owners or anything like that. And I keep thinking to myself, the emphasis always seems to be on the guns. The guns. The gun did this, the gun did that. Well, I'm sorry, but a gun needs a hand with a finger to pull the trigger. What about that? I mean, unfortunately, from my understanding of it, the Second Amendment, you can carry a firearm in the United States. And a lot of, states have concealed carry rights. So you can carry, and there's some guns that shouldn't be in certain hands, yet they are. But they're all guns. It's the people, in my view. Correct me if I'm wrong, and if I've got some Americans in here, and I know I have, I've seen at least one. You tell me what you think about the whole thing. It's nuts. Mike Alligators, good to see you in the chat. Where are we? Stink Pooter, good to see you. I love your screen name, I always have. All the better for seeing you, Factual Breakdown. Excellent. Shut that door. I just did. Lynn Harrison, how many more nutters have we let in our country? Andy, that's a very good question. We've become far too soft as a nation with all of this. Far too PC. We don't want to offend anybody. We don't want to interrupt anybody. Let them, mass get on with it, kind of thing. And of course, it's a load of old bollocks, isn't it? Really, the punishment needs to fit the crime once again. But who am I? I'm a cabbie. We see it every day, and it's pretty heartbreaking, really. Where are we? British justice system is awful. You Factual Breakdown. Yep. There is no justice in Britain at all anymore. Ghost guns are partly printed out on 3D printers, then fashioned with parts of actual guns. Sick folks who do that. And a lot of the blueprints for these guns as well, you could probably get them on the internet, I suppose, as well. It's crazy. I mean, you look at the recent case in the States of that young teenage girl who, you know, was kidnapped and murdered. She was shot once in the head and once in the chest. And they've got the perp. He's in custody. He's in jail. But where did the gun come from? How easy was it to get hold of it? Was it a ghost gun or was it one he had? Fojo needs to focus on the cultural component of violent crimes and who is using guns to murder others on a daily basis. Exactly right, factual breakdown. I mean, you know, you're there. You see it every day. But it's typical politicians, isn't it? They tend to want to fix the symptom rather than the underlying cause. What's actually going on, and it's disturbing. It happens on both sides of the pond. I mean, you know, we had the outgoing Met Police Commissioner, Cressida Dick, and she blew smoke up her own arse saying how wonderful she is and how the rates are down everywhere of, you know, the basic major crimes that are committed. And I read and I thought, what fucking planet are you on, woman? We read stuff about this every day. It's nuts, absolutely nuts. Listen, folks, this is the daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. Welcome, everybody, and hope you've had a good day. I know we're just at the start of the week. If you haven't done so already, please give the live chat a thumbs up. That'll be good. And get the old algorithm talking. And they need to talk about the Gabby Cabby. If you haven't done so already as well, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can do that by hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell as well. And get a prize there every time we do something. I was going to do 5 videos today, but I did an overnight airport run, 5 o'clock in the morning. And I come home and I literally had an hour's sleep, and my wife had to go to work herself, so I've been awake on jack duty today, and I managed to get another couple of hours in later. So today has been more of a kind of juggling things with rest day, but as usual, get out here, do this live stream with you all. When the wokes finally wake up, it'll be too late. It certainly will. In the movie Shane, Alan Ladd said a gun is just a tool, as good or as bad as the man that's using it. Hello, Andy and everyone. It's Edgar Lee. Sorry I haven't been there for a while. I've been working shifts. I have a load of dinghy divers to pay for. And that's the truth. This is the thing, isn't it? Life gets in the way sometimes. We have to deal with life, and then we can come here. But this community, Andy's Army, as it's called, is always here. And I want to hear suggestions for a slogan, because people said in the chat yesterday they want a nice summer t-shirt with an Andy slogan across it, like Andy's Army or something like that. So let me know what you think, and I'll look into it. I know what I think. My voice is going a lot quicker. I think it's the after effects and not so much sleep, but I shall get that done. I still don't own a gun. I'm afraid of them. Factual breakdown. I'm an ignorant Englishman. I have no idea about what goes on in the States. Factual breakdown. But the way I look at it, you have people walking around with guns and they will shoot you without a second thought. So to protect yourself, when you use the Second Amendment right to do this, you get a gun. You shoot them before they shoot you. What if everybody puts their guns down? Everybody, countrywide, together. That's the only way it would ever, the balance would ever return. But over the course of the history of the United States, or the recorded history, at least from the 1700s, you've always had that inane right under the Constitution to carry a firearm, and that's never ever going to change. I see loads and loads of examples of people that say it, to protect yourself on the street, carry. And you know, in your environment, it's dead right, particularly in certain states where crime is on the up. What choice do you have? But they are scary, scary things, particularly in the wrong hands. 3D printers are no good for gun parts. They'll explode. I've seen video demonstrations, Alan, of 3D printed weapons, but I've never kind of realised how effective they may be. Maybe they do explode, or you have to do partial part normal and part printed. Who knows? Thank you, Jody. I will check those out. Oh, windy pop. Sorry about that. Did you know the UK taxpayer are paying $70,000 to integrate the illegals sent back to Jamaica and get them back into society? No, I didn't know that, Julie Baldwin. I didn't. I'm interested in this thing where they're saying with the dinghy divers, they're going to send them all to Rwanda. I can't see how that's going to work, because the Rwandans will say, bollocks, we're not having them. It's as simple as that. Then he turning round and sending back to Macron. Or, well, are we going to end up with Macron for much longer? Who knows? I personally think maybe we will, because I have no trust in the democratic engine, but we will see. Andy, Florida is getting out of control. All the people from the islands and Africa shooting people dead in the street and throwing them into a canal all in one day. Christ. Hi, Christine Ayres. Good to see you. I hope you're all right. Bon Scott, good to see you as well. Glad Monday is over. Well, then we got Tuesday, haven't we? When anyone mentions custody, I always think about when Jim Davison used to present the Generation Game and cover people in custard. Brilliant. Jim always used to make me laugh when he used to make jokes about his ex-wives, and he used to go five wives ago, or he used to go 5 driving licenses ago I did this, and very, very good at self-deprecation. He used to make me laugh. Healing vibrations, huge apologies to anyone who I've missed in greeting. So sorry, try to get through whom I see. I was bloody freezing this morning, Cosmic Water. It was cold. I was on the road, 5 o'clock this morning, and it was cold. I had a bit of a drama with a customer. I had another driver going to do a job for another customer, and they were booked in for 2:40 this morning, and the driver turned up at 2:40, but they thought it was 2:30, and they had to go at my driver. I was like, hang on a minute, you're the one that chose the time. And I showed them the email with everything. Oh, we're terribly sorry. I thought, you fucking should be. I never, ever, ever delete anything. You never know when it's needed. Who's this? Heisenberg. Hello, sorry, late on live. I'll catch up later. You're okay. You're here. That's the main thing. Shut the old door. Patricia Shaw. Hello to you. Good to see you. Where else are we? Shane. Come back, Shane. Let's have a look through the chat. So we got. Don't think so. China has just gone into lockdown again in some areas. That's James. Yeah, I seen that, and there was another article, wasn't there? I think they were screaming out the windows or something or other. And his army reporting for duty. That's the old slogan for the T-shirt, is it? I'll have a little fiddle, see what we come up with, and that'll be all cool. Step-by-step government guidelines, how to become less intelligent and easier to control. 1, vaccinate. 2, listen to what the mainstream media tells you. 3, consume as much junk food as possible. Well, I had a really nice lasagna this evening, cooked by my wife, but there you go. Very nice. And I'll end up with Joe. I'll tell you what I keep eating at the moment. This Urban Eats and the Jamie Oliver equivalent. Rather disgusting, rather calorific, but it keeps you going on the early runs. But hopefully now this old convict crap's getting out my system, I'm going to get back to working out this week and see how that goes. Andy's army on the front and Toodaloo on the back, my mum says. I like that. But white or black? Or kind of identified as a t-shirt? I don't bloody know. Anyway, folks, this is Andy's Gabalots. I love it. Got some good suggestions there. This is Andy, the Gabby Cabby's Daily Chat. Thank you, everybody, for showing up, turning in, reporting for duty, as somebody said. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button for me. That'd be wonderful. And let's get those likes up to somewhere near a ton in the time we have. And if you're new to the channel as well, and just enjoy a chit chat and general news and views and everything, subscribe as well. Let's get that back up and running too. And it's good to see you all. There are other places and other ways the channel can be supported as well. You find all of that in the links under the description, and it's all good. Bon Scott enjoys game shooting. I had a go at, not game shooting, clay pigeon shooting once upon a time. I was only quite a young sprog. I could barely pull the bloody thing out, and needless to say, I missed. I mean, we went to a military show not so long ago, and they had a Huey actually parked there, but the rotor blades were taken off, and I enjoyed sitting in the cockpit of that. There's two versions of the Huey. There's a smaller one, and then there's a larger one with a bigger carrying capacity in the middle, which they used to drop the troops in and out of battle in Vietnam. And also there was a guy there with some Vietnam era stuff. They had an M16 and there was a rifle that they used before that, both inert. They both weren't going to work, but the M16, you could hold it with one hand. It was so light. And we had a look at those. But I think that's the last time I went near any firearms. Shut that door, and a photo of you in your taxi for a t-shirt. I love it, Bridget. That's brilliant. Shut that door has started to be my catchphrase. I mean, the one thing we've got to watch is the estate of old Larry Grayson doesn't come after me for copyright. I'll have to go shut or shut or something. Try and think of a spin. Or me outside the cab and shut that door, one of the two. Andy, the US will never give up the Second Amendment to bear arms. I know they won't, Lorna McKenzie. I know. It's one of those things. It's cultural, isn't it? You're brought up to believe and understand that is your right, and everybody will exercise that right for the protection of themselves and their families. I mean, I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I might sound hypocritical having mentioned it, but if I ever moved to America, which I'm not planning on, just to be clear, one of the first things I'd buy is a firearm, because if anybody come knocking with intentions, I'll shoot them if I have to protect me and mine. It's as simple as that. It's sad to think like that, really. Where I'm a peace-loving individual, but my family, everything, and they need protecting. I don't need a gun here, but if I lived in an area where I was outnumbered by minorities, I would need a gun. Yes, Andy, people in those areas do need protection from that element. Second Amendment can be repealed. There is already the mechanism in place to do this, but they won't. I remember years ago when Piers Morgan first went to America. He had his own chat show and everything, didn't he? And he started harping on about Second Amendment, going, "Oh, put the guns down, put the guns down." And I think he quickly become rather unpopular, didn't he? Because, who the fucking hell's this Brit preaching to us about our Second Amendment rights? We're not having it. And I think he ended up back on this side of the pond shortly thereafter. I don't criticise anybody or any country for their basic laws and their right. This is the thing. I just comment as an observer, what I think. But it's culture again, isn't it? A friend of mine who works for a well-known hotel chain has had to cancel lots of normal bookings of accommodation. 80 Afghans, and the abuse she has been receiving has made her ill and depressed. That's Air Zulu. I saw, is it Stephen Spy? I think he said about 89 dinghy divers came in this morning, something like that. It's crazy. Alan Pape, I'm a firearms holder and have seen proof testing when it goes wrong. Okay. Lorna Mackenzie, there's also a huge hunting community in the state. That's very true. Very true indeed. Mark Campson, evening to you. Good to see you. Cove Lord, who you going to call? Andy the Gabby Cabby. I love it. Got some good suggestions there. I'll have to put it to a vote and see how we do. Dinghy divers are not taking over our jobs, James says. Damn right. How long do you healing vibrations? What a wonderful question. General public, did you know? Drivers face fuel shortage here. We go again. Yes, that's another thing. Before I come out to talk to you guys, I always have a quick scoop through the news to see if there's anything current or anything that can be discussed. And we know the problem at the moment with the fuel. It's these eco numpties handcuffing themselves to the oil lines and things like this. And this goes back to the justice system and the enforcement of the, basic laws in this country again. A couple of these people, one of which is the guy that superglued himself to the microphone in the LBC studios, have been crapped up to these things for 30 hours. 30 hours. Why? Go in there with bolt croppers, cut them out, put them in the back of a paddy wagon and put them in jail. Teach them a lesson. But we can't. We won't. We'll just stand there and look at them. And we had this with the Insulate Britain mob as well. And look what happened to that lady that tried to shift one of them with her 4x4. She got in trouble, didn't she? Take a look at my Tuesday videos for today. And it's on one of those. Okay. Healing vibrations, high. Put them on an empty P&O ferry. Well, there's at least 3 of them I know of sitting down Dover docks right now. Hey, Andy, I've still got a few cans of normal Coke. That's cosmic. I had a can of normal stuff the other day as a change. And I must admit, I prefer the taste. But I need to wean myself off of that. Lorna Mackenzie, that's a shame. It's not her fault, though I can understand people's anger. Up in the area of New Jersey where I grew up, people don't need guns since people aren't breaking into people's homes and cars in wealthy neighbourhoods. They won't come from other areas. Okay. Hi, Chrissy Williams. Good to see you. I mean, it seems regional to me. Some states worse than others. That's the impression I get. Easy Tiger, good to see you. Hello. Mark Jones. What about the Afghans? They are still in holiday inns and others around the country. Holiday Inn, nearly full of them, all paid for. What's the cost? Well, it's millions, isn't it? It's millions. Now, I did a video on this ages ago. Was it 5 million quid a hit or something like that? I can't really remember, but the figure was insane. And how can it be sustained? That's the thing, really. Jason Pritchard just watched that Jimmy Savile thing on Netflix. What the fuck? Disgusting. I won't give it the time of day, Jason. I really can't. What Jimmy Savile was and what Jimmy Savile did should be confined to the history books. It should be left back there in the past where it is. And what the hell are they doing making something about him? I don't get it. It's mad. Absolutely mad. Andy, Jim Davison's joke was, I can let you know I have a good jeweler, as I was married 5 times. Yeah, that's one of them. What was his other one? I often like to watch my wedding video in reverse, and I can see myself walking out of the church as a free man. That's another one of his funny jokes. Oh, old school, but funny. In South Africa, we had a shoot now an ask questions later way of dealing with things back in the old days. That's Zulu. I remember when I went to South Africa, I went to Cape Town, and it was an organised tour, and we stayed in the Table Bay Hotel right on the waterfront in Cape Town. I'm assuming Air Zulu will know where I'm talking about. And we were told, stay in the tourist areas, it's safer. But my stepmum had an aunt and an uncle that lived in Cape Town for about 40 years. And they came and picked me up and took me for a spin around, a drive around other places I might not necessarily have seen. And they took me to their house. And I always remember it was a compound with walls all around, big tall white walls, and there was a load of houses in this compound. And I always remember it to this day very clearly, and I can even see what the guy looks like. There was a guard on a post at the front gate of this compound with a gun, and he looked like he was there for protection purposes to protect the residents. Yet they were burgled 3 times, and the last time was particularly nasty. Somebody broke in while they were asleep, and went and stole all their bits and pieces. And apparently these people were very questionable, to the fact that it was probably the best idea that my stepmum's aunt and uncle stayed asleep, because they might not be here now. It's frightening. And in the end, they sold up and moved back to the UK after 40 years. I think they had trouble getting their money out of the country, because South Africa ran to, English sterling. But apart from that, they got out. Such a shame, because I remember sitting there in the nice weather by their pool, cold beer, and wonderful, wonderful country, beautiful. And I hope to go back someday, but you never know. You never know. Listen, folks, this is the Daily Chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. Good to see everybody. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button on the chat. Let's get it up to a ton before we go. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and that'll be good. And hit the notification bell too, and you'll keep up to date every time we try and do something. Matt Walton, my stepdad's South African, so I've heard stories of BMWs, etc., with flamethrowers along the side of the car in case of carjackings. Yeah, one of the stories I heard, Matt, after, I'll just adjust my camera there, after I left, and I'm going back years when I went there, is what they used to do on the motorways, or freeways, or whatever they call them. They used to throw a load of stuff onto the freeways from overhead bridges, and the cars would stop and take evasive action to avoid the collision. And then what would happen? People would run out and carjack and rob, and that seemed to be the thing. And I remember driving past a place, and they had these old shanty towns. All the huts made out of corrugated iron sheeting with the roof, and a kind of thing you'd see on a TV movie. And I got told that that's probably responsible for a great deal of the crime around that area. Sad, really. But I suppose, again, is it a cultural thing? I don't know. I really don't. Hit the like button, please. Andy needs 100. I'm only 6 off. Hi, Rafi. Good to see you in the chat. I saw your message earlier about the website, and I'll talk to you about that later. I've just sent 3 new drawings, Andy. Thanks, Jody. Appreciate that. What's the lady's name with the math problem? Is that Carol Vorderman? Let's see what else we got. 93 likes, 7 more. All armed, trying to break into DC to get the drink. They'd also raided and burnt some stores down at DC's. Daphne Lynch, a good idea. I was burgled once in Florida while we were asleep, and that was it. We left Florida. Yeah. I was on a call with some South African colleagues during COVID when they had banned drink. Guy kept looking over his shoulder out of office window. People were at gates trying to get into the DC. James Carney, some want statues of the child abuse. What the fuck? Why would you want to remember that? That bloody thing outside that building needs tearing down, doesn't it? That stonemason had the right idea, I think. I'd love to go to South Africa, the Rich Gammon part, so I would not have to be afraid. The waterfront where I went was lovely. It was beautiful. Jimmy Savile should be well forgotten and left to rot in the ground. Yeah, I agree with that. It was done. It was dealt with. He's brown bread. Leave him where he is. They're going to drag a war out and sell equipment. Peter Smith. That bloody picture the other day with Boris and Zelensky. I mean, for fuck's sake, that's got to be the most set up piece of photographic bullshit I've ever seen in my life. You know, fancy walking down the street in the middle of a war zone with your whistle on, as if you're walking down a street in central London. And, you know, where was the protective? It just didn't make any sense to me at all. Didn't make any sense. Why put something on that's so obviously shite that we all see through it? Is it... Oh, these photo opportunities are crazy. Absolutely crazy. I mean, Sunak's another one. You know, there's always like a picture of him with his can of Coke sitting there writing something. And oh, look, there's a photograph. It's, you know, they're all probably more vain than most people I know. It's... and the scary thing is, they think we're dumb. They think we're stupid. No, I'm afraid more of us are not. If you turn over the apple cart and look, it's crazy. Where are we? Yoda's in the house. Who's this? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Quandale, I'm so sorry, so sorry. Yeah, Yoda, all I can say is, to the door you must go, yes? Spam you will not. Or kick your ass, I will. How's that? 100 likes. Thank you very much, folks. Appreciate that. I bet Macron was green with envy when he saw Boris in Kiev. Yeah, he probably was, wasn't he? Probably got in his war fatigues. Yoda, Luke be a Jedi tonight. Exactly. Zulu, I'm sorry if we don't get our real president back. I'm afraid all this happened here and we will have to run. Yeah. It's the world's gone crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I saw that, Lynn Harrison. Zelensky saying Johnson will go down in history. What for, exactly? What for? Mad, isn't it? Do you see President Trump speaking NC? My mum laughing. That's probably at my Yoda impression. I'm not too bad at one of those. Trouble is, I left my lightsaber in the other trousers. You know, is that a lightsaber in your pocket, or are you just... No, forget that. That's getting a bit crude. Oh, I could put that on a t-shirt, couldn't I? Oh, what's going on with this camera? Right. Really being tried there. Johnson is an incredible unkept. Christ, where are all these comments coming from? Andy, John Wayne, and Yoda. Well, exactly. Get off your horse and drink your milk. That's the other one. Keith, I love it. Drew Peacock caught me out. On that note, I think we're going to wrap things up for the day. As I said, I can only do about half an hour to 40 minutes today because I've got to go to bed. To be blunt, I've got to be at my first pickup at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I need to go and try and get 5 or 6 hours shut-eye. Remember, folks, if you haven't done so already, hit the thumbs up on your way out. and help the old algorithm grow the chat in the channel. That's wonderful. And I shall give these t-shirts some thought and put it to a public vote. If you've just started watching, and that includes Yoda, and you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. That would be wonderful. And hit the notification bell. And we're on social media and other things as well. So have a look in the description and see what else you can do. And until tomorrow, toodaloo.